Some bonds give more returns, get more security and more interest on your fixed deposits. From Sri Lanka's largest finance company, LOLC Finance.
Finders may not be keepers. Do right. Do the right thing even when no one is looking. Refresh Sri Lanka for a civic-minded society in association with AICPA and CIMA, CA, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, and 99X, LMD, the voice of business.
Display your brand message on digital screens at prime locations. The largest digital advertising network in Sri Lanka. Emerging media.
Get the Lights 87 app right now and never miss a moment.
Better keep listening.
Head over to the Apple App Store or Google Play now.
87.8 and 87.6 island-wide. Light 87.
Welcome to LMDtv. I am Fazmina Imamudeen, and joining with us tonight in the forum is Dr. Anil Jasinghe to talk about the changing mindsets to create a litter-free society. Hello, Dr. Jasinghe. Welcome to the show. You're muted, sir.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
LMD recently launched its campaign, Refresh Sri Lanka, through which we encourage a mindset change for a more civic-minded society. One of our pillars in this campaign is proper waste disposal. In your view, how important is this particular mindset change for Sri Lankan society?
Yeah, right. Thank you for inviting. Now, there is this triple planetary crisis that is about the climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution control. Now, when it comes to waste, waste creates pollution, right? So we see this. So therefore, actually, this if you take littering is basic human misbehavior, right? But if you take major part of it, we call it waste management, right? In overall waste management, there is this, simple principle that anybody can understand. We call 3R, or, you can even call 4R, that is, the best thing is to reduce waste. You go to supermarket and you buy stuff and and you bring 5 polythene bags, right? Then that's waste, right? So similarly, at home, in the industries, in the office, everywhere, you could reduce waste. That is first R. Then of course reuse. There's this single-use plastics. You waste once and then you have to throw, right? And also there are plastic items, products that you can reuse. So if you make reusable commodities out of plastics, that means you will be reusing. Then of course, then recycle. You recycle, and that is the waste will become a raw material for another product. So, so in that sense, actually, I congratulate LMD for this, initiative. I think this is very important because whatever said and done, there's a lot of waste around us, though we call, talk about 3R. So there are a lot of littering, and, we may be little better than few subcontinent countries, but certainly we are, we are very bad compared to more decent society. So therefore, I think you have taken up at the right time. So we need to actually create this culture, positive culture. If you remember, even in Colombo cities, city, when there was some improvement in the Colombo city area, we could see less littering, right? That is, when you see a clean environment, you tend to not to litter, right? When you have when you see a bad environment, you tend to litter. That's bad, but and in the meantime, we can inculcate this especially among school children, because if you inculcate this behavior among school children or our sons and daughters, they will be role models, and on the other hand, they will you know change behavior of adults. So that's what happens. And also, if you take in the Ministry of Environment recently, we had several discourses with one with supermarkets. We were trying out ways and means how they could reduce waste, and especially the food waste. And then another session we had with hotels, major hotels. And there are some major good hotels that are, doing a lot of work with regard to reducing, waste, and especially with regard to food waste. So, I just, as an introduction, I just, gave you these inputs. Therefore, there are lot that we can discuss around this topic.
What would your focus areas be to inspire society to avoid littering and get into the habit of cleaning up after themselves?
So the focus, as I told you a little while ago, the main focus has to be children, right? Children are honest, right? So the thing is, they are developing their behavior. So that's it. And then in the schools, we may sort of take up some collective activities, and we have seen sometimes in say, for example, Horton Plains. Horton Plains were fairly a clean place, but then still we see some littering. But in the meantime, we see some young groups, going around and collecting waste, and also beach cleaning for that matter. We see young people doing this, the beach cleaning, and also I think another thing is to create good urban environments. If you create good urban environments, then of course littering will be less. I think, if you take, say, the last several decades, we can say as a society, this littering, we have, improved little positively. But the issue is with this consumer society, we have, produced more and more waste. If you take in 1970, we didn't have this plastics, we didn't have polythene, right? Now this has become a menace. So similarly, there are a lot of consumer goods that we use on daily basis, and they all produce litter. So that's the area. So therefore, industries, right? The industries producing consumer goods, they also must focus their production on, circular economy, and produce less and less waste, so that they don't end up in the environment. So I mean, those are the areas that we could think of.
What do you what do you think are the main challenges we have to overcome as a society to transform ourselves to be more civic minded and create a cleaner place for us to live?
Yeah, the main challenge, as you very correctly understood, mindset, changing the mindset. And also, literacy. It's literacy means, the environment literacy is also, one of the literacy among, right? So and also we see, certain people with certain livelihoods, you see, they don't care about, waste, they tend to litter. And sometimes just see fishing community, sometimes, they take certain waste to sea, and they sometimes they dump in sea. And also another challenge Sri Lanka faces is having 103 rivers in this country, in this beautiful country, that's a blessing. But then these rivers have become, waste dump. I mean, dumping this thing, because it's very easy. You dump something into water and it, simply goes down. And some people think that's a way out. And also not only individuals. What about some industries? They pollute. Sometimes, they come late night and, dump truckload of their waste. And then not only that, few days ago, we witnessed, and we, of course, we caught them in Sabaragamu area, just near a beautiful fall. They dumped the waste of Sabaragamu University by the contractor, who is actually responsible for proper waste management. So see the situation. And I mean, this cannot be a challenge really, because the Sabaragamu University entrusts some contractor for, healthy waste management, and this contractor dump them simply on waterfall. And see the what kind of behavior and what kind of negative reaction, and what kind of antisocial act. So I mean, so therefore challenges changing mindset, and of course the challenge, the also, because of business interests, people do this improper waste management, and then the certain other industries, tourist industry, right? The local authorities sometimes not doing their job properly, right? There are, I think, there are some local authorities doing well, but I think maybe even majority, they at a time like this, we can see that waste management is developed, right? There are ways and means, but then it looks that, they have not prioritized their, their work, because the one of the main responsibilities of local authorities is proper waste management. So therefore enforcement is a challenge, enforcement, getting the government system to work, getting private sector to work, getting civilians to work, getting business people to work, so the challenges are everywhere.
Strengthening environmental management is a strategic area of focus in the 2030 agenda of sustainable development and sustainable development goals. How is Sri Lanka faring in its journey towards a sustainable 2030?
Yeah, now actually when it comes to sustainable development goals, there are few environment related SDGs, sustainable development goals. That is goal number 12, that is sustainable consumption and production. Goal number 13, that's climate action. Goal number 14, life below water, and 15, life on land. So basically, the Ministry of Environment is working on these the goals, and how we address these goals is through National Environment Action Plan. So we have actually drafted and we got cabinet approval on this National Environment Action Plan 2030. So this SDGs we must achieve by 2030. I don't say that we are going to achieve all these targets in a very satisfactory manner. Millennium Development Goals, of course, Sri Lanka achieved very well, but these SDGs are much more complicated than Millennium Development Goals. So in certain goals we are doing well, but in certain goals, we are still not that good. So if you take sustainable consumption and production, now in 2019, we passed the policy on sustainable consumption and production. So that is, once again, this will sustainable consumption and production will support waste management, because the production is sustainable means that you produce less waste and you go for as much as possible for circular. The waste can become raw material for next cycle, for example. And then of course the consumption. In this consumer society, our level of consumerism, right? So therefore, actually, we must consume what we really want to consume, and the more you consume, the more you grab from future generations, and then we deplete the environment of its natural resources. So this is very important. And then the climate action, of course, we are doing a lot on climate action. There are two sets of actions, that is mitigation and adaptation. In mitigation, of course, we do a lot of work in renewable energy and other, to some extent e-mobility, but mostly we work in adaptation area, because the adaptation is our forte. That is the how we adapt to climate change impact, because Sri Lanka is one of the most vulnerable countries in the world. It was categorized as in first 10 most vulnerable countries back to back 3 years from 2016. So therefore, the climate, the adaptation in irrigation, in agriculture, in all sectors, almost all sectors, very important. So the Ministry of Environment is working with the ministries, with the private sector. And for example, yesterday we had the National Steering Committee on nationally determined contributions. That's again, that will support SDG, because the under climate action, NDCs, or the national determined contributions, the targeted till 2030 on mitigation and adaptation. So we invited all the sectors in the country, and we actually we sort of reviewed the progress and the gaps, and then how to overcome gaps and way forward. And then life on land, the biodiversity is a very important, because Sri Lanka is one of the 33 identified biodiversity hotspots in the world. Sri Lanka with Western Ghats of India. So we may not much appreciate our biodiversity, but we have to say even tourism is because of biodiversity, right? That's biodiversity is variety in the fauna and flora. So that's the reason why tourists would like to come, and that's why it works against pollution, the biodiversity. And so therefore we have the biodiversity strategic action plan, and we meet time and again regularly, and we work with, once again, with very many sectors in the country, and also we work with in global forums, and we work with the United Nations Environment Program, and right now COP15 on biodiversity is being held in Canada, for example. So our representatives are also participating there. So therefore if you take on these SDGs, we have set up policies, and we have set up action plans, and we are trying our level best to work with the society.
Sri Lankans have been through many trials by fire in recent times. Among everything else, from inflation to the power crisis, how would you rate the urgency and importance of proper waste disposal for environmental management?
Yeah, because proper waste disposal and environment management would, lessen our cost. That's the main thing, because now in a time like this, in a critical time, in this crisis, we must first reduce our costs, right? The green environment, greening the environment, greening the society, trying to green our industries, would certainly reduce our costs. So therefore, it is very important that at a time like this, we work on more. Sometimes they say, in a economic downturn, environment is one of the first casualties. This is about the deforestation, this and that. But I think we have, at the government, and as the government's main environment agency and other environment agencies, even the society, we all have realized that we need to concentrate on the environment, because environment can bring in a lot of dividends to us, even financially, like nature swaps, the bonds, the carbon credits, right? That's all, money, and that's all these are called green financial instruments. So that is one way we reduce cost, and on the other hand, we find means of income, and on the other hand, overall the society will benefit.
We recently experienced several days of severe air pollution that threatened the health of many vulnerable groups. How would you forecast the severity of health risks posed by pollution in the coming years?
Yeah, that's a problem. Of course, that's a problem. Now, if you take, it was for the first time that we came across such a high level of bad air over Sri Lanka. Now, what happened was with this, every year we get our air get little bad during this time because of northeast monsoon, and we get bad air from Indian subcontinent, not limited to India, mainly India, and then sometimes Dhaka, and the other times you can get bad air from even, Thailand, Bangkok, because air travels more than, faster than more than we think, right? So, but this time that was a double this thing because we had this we had this low pressure in Bay of Bengal. So with that, the wind currents were coming to Sri Lanka very fast. So therefore, basically all over the country we had bad air. And when it comes to bad air, the air quality, we mainly talk of the particulate matter. That's particulate matter, we in shorten from PM. There are two types, PM 2.5 and PM 10. PM 2.5 is smaller than PM 10 in size. And the issue is through lungs, when we breathe, it can even permeate the alveoli or the lung, and lung base, and then get into bloodstream. And then it can even cause, other than lung problems, like, wheeze and pneumonia and even the lung cancer. And then when it crosses over to a blood circulation, when you are exposed throughout, right? When there's enough exposure, people can end up in diseases of blood, the cardiac problems, the strokes. So there are very many that this has been actually established. So this situation, we in Sri Lanka cannot control the pollution because it's more than locally originated. It's come from elsewhere, and we call it transboundary pollution. So therefore, the action on this is international or regional, right? So there are some, of course, steps being taken towards it. The main this thing is climate action, because this pollution comes out from burning of fossil fuel mainly. So therefore, the climate action will mainly address this issue. So, so the going by climate action, it should go down. But then we see that in Indian subcontinent, still developing countries, we don't see that the fossil fuel use is going to be significantly getting less over next several years. So I think this situation can come back again and again, of course. But we are, even today we had we call the vehicle emission test trust meeting where I am a member, and we have air quality monitoring stations run by Central Environment Authority and NBRO. We are going to take both these into one platform, and also the on daily basis, on real time, people to know air quality in their respective areas. I think that's important for people to take precautions at least. But of course, we can't prevent. As Sri Lankans, we cannot prevent this situation. But if you take Kandy, among other areas, Kandy is a little worse because its topographical conditions, and also there can be some element of local emissions because town is small, city is small, and then there are vehicles and other emitting sources. So there can, when it comes to Kandy, there can be some degree of local pollution affecting the Kandy area, the air pollution.
In what way should the government and the public institutions encourage and facilitate proper waste disposal practices in the society?
Yeah, I think one thing is if you take private sector, right? Let me start from private. Now, the proper waste supporting proper waste disposal can start from their private sector institutions, and also it can be their CSR work. The big big conglomerates and other establishments can have a bigger role, and penetrating society, and working beyond their institutions. That's one thing. And then of course now tourism. Now we see that beaches are highly polluted, right? One thing is, we see that a lot of people litter the rivers, and then the water streams, canals, and also the beach, and therefore we see a lot of litter in the beach. So so therefore tourism sector has a responsibility to clean this the beaches, and also to sort of carry out some advocacy programs in tourist areas, in beaches, so that people don't dump and people don't litter. And there was this good practice by MIPA, Marine Environment Protection Agency. They made use of samurdhi recipients in the beach, and recipients were entrusted for, say, 1 mile, one person, and then they were paid through CSR projects of various private sector establishments. And I don't think it's pretty active right now, but that was practiced very well some time ago. I think we have to think about those things. And the tourists, for example, they hate this the waste, dumping waste, and they love clean beaches. That is why they come here. So similarly, the government institutions once again can manage their for the first thing, apply 3R, try to reduce waste, and then manage waste properly. And then when it comes to schools, we can get students to become change agents in the society with regard to waste management. So these are some of the areas. Of course, institutionally, there are institutions that are responsible for waste management, like the local authorities and some other institutions, as I discussed earlier with you.
Dr. Jasinghe, any closing thoughts you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, of course. One thing, this was very good discussion. So I hope the audience would appreciate LMD for undertaking this. Once again, as final thoughts, I think we are going to sort of advocate this 3R principle. So actually we have devised the advocacy material Now actually we need some funding for that matter. So we, in all media, through all media. So therefore 3R is very important. That is reduce, reuse, recycle. And there's another R, you can add repurpose. For example, battery driven car, the solar driven, the battery, once, the life is almost over to be used in a car, you can repurpose and you can use this as inverter in, especially during this electricity crisis. That's it. And then we all have to think it is we who generate waste, not the animals, not the fauna or flora. It's we. So therefore, we are responsible for proper management of waste that we create, right? Otherwise, what happens is the major this thing is there. You could see in this country there are about 200 waste dumps, out of Colombo. There were dumps in Colombo as well. Out of the dumps, that will cause a lot of as I started on pollution, leachate, then the emissions. The waste dumps can emit the methane, the nitrogen, and can cause even the add to climate change. So therefore therefore waste management is a very important area. I think it should go to the syllabuses of children, and in a proper way, and the whole of society must be armed with this kind of material, this kind of knowledge, and we must change the society towards a better future.
Thank you, Doctor, for sharing some valuable insights on the importance of civic mindedness and our responsibility in creating a sustainable environment.
Thank you very much talking to you. Thank you. Talking to me.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all from us tonight. Good night.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching and stay safe.